Can we keep it off? Yeah, please, that'd be great. I don't know what I'm doing, I might not even join it yet. You all right? You don't know.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, Sammy. Fine, don't worry.
Okay.
No, you're all right. What we'll do when we get going anyway, if you just mute your press mute on the right hand side, there should be like a little microphone with a little mute button.
It's here, I've got it muted. It's not.
No. No, you're all right, don't worry. Your screen at the moment, Linda.
Do I not need to?
No, if you take that off, only because I can't share mine if you've got yours on. That's all right, and I'll hopefully only share my screen. There we go. Your screen now.
Okay, so I can.
Yeah, brilliant. more people. So we've got Helen, Paul and Lynn. You all hear me okay? Around my settings. Can you all hear right on here? Yeah. Switch my audio. I don't think it's picking up. Hey, sorry, I was just trying to play around to see if settings will work on my computer, but I don't think it's working, so I'll stick with using my phone instead.
Yeah, can I visit the pad?
Well, it,
Put it on speaker, look.
Yeah.
Put it down on the rest,
can I?
and then we'll hear it.
Please hold.
Hi, that's Paula. Hi, sorry, we're just waiting for a few more people before we get going. And if you could just make sure you're on mute for me, just so we don't get any background noise while we're doing it. And it should just give you the option next to your name to mute. One, so we're just waiting for a few more people before we start.
Light shining on the yeah. I should say something now.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah. Mamma Mia too. Well, that's what I was thinking, actually.
Are you there, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you got...
Yeah, just waiting for a few more people and then we'll get going.
Oh, great stuff.
We can hear you singing in reception. Yeah, good. Don't bargain. Oh, yeah. No, thanks. Oh, that's not one of our kids going. You're now, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. I like them, just a bit of a change, aren't they, rather than a normal thing. Oh, thank you.
Right then, we'll get going. I don't think there's going to be that many of us anyway. I think a lot of people are on holiday this week. I'll actually record this session, so if I just want to check you're all happy to be on the recording. If you do talk or anything, it's just going to be sent out to the Lincolnshire West practices after the meeting.
Yeah, fine by me.
Thank you. If I like just to put yourselves on mute just while I'm talking, and then if you have any questions, just unmute yourself, and then we'll talk then. Is that all right? The background noise? Yeah, it's great. Thank you. Over now. So yes, welcome to the webinar, everybody. If you can't hear or go too fast or anything like that, just shout me, just unmute yourself and shout me if you get stuck. So we're going to cover some more information about this, the hubs that you're all part of for extended access. One of the things that we're going to be talking about is going into a consultation from the ledger, just so we can show you for your clinicians, really, just so they're aware of what they need to do. It doesn't really look much different to what they do now. It's literally more sharing, making sure they're sharing. We're also going to talk about rota sharing, so what sits behind the rota templates that I've put on for you all on your different hubs. So it'll just talk briefly about that, how you can set up your own. And we'll also talk about the user settings that need to be set up when you do get your clinicians set up on your hub. Last thing we'll do is just a little Q&A session. I'm hoping that Amy and Alex will be logging at some point. And when they do, then hopefully any questions I can't answer, they'll be able to. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is look at these consultations. Okay? What you'll need to do is log into the hub through your normal SystmOne. So do that. And just log on like you normally do. You press log on with NHS log card. And your hub will come up. So at the moment I'm on Optimus Healthcare on here. Okay. Bring up the patient at the SystmOne home screen that you normally see when you log on. What you do is just go up to the icon on the top left. This will be the same for everybody that logs into the hub. This is the toolbar that's been set up. And then go up to appointments and appointment ledger. Okay. So to take you to appointment ledger, we're actually looking at a test rota, just so obviously you can't see the patient names or anything. So this rota is saying that we've got an appointment for Mickey Mouse at 9 o'clock on Saturday. So for the doctor or the nurse or whoever's seeing them to actually go into consultation, they'll just right-click like they do normally, and then there'll be an option for consultation on there. Obviously, as I'm not a clinician, it's not coming up with that option, but that would be their option normally. So I'm going to click on View Record and take me in. First thing it's going to do is it's going to ask you about this record sharing. So this is why in the training that we provided last week for the receptionist, we're just making sure that they've done their side so that the consent is set from the practice, so that then when the doctor or the nurse gets to this side, they can then do their sharing side, and then it all sort of coexists together. So you just need to make sure that they click on the yes for sharing out and the consent given for sharing in. Okay, and then press OK. That will then allow you to see both sides of the record, be able to see the practice's record, and then the practice will be able to see your consultation as well when it's done. So you'll complete your consultation like you normally do. There's no different again for the clinicians. The only thing they might notice is that their clinical tree is slightly different. At the moment, it's got all the CLOS templates and the NHS Lincolnshire templates on there. If you want to add any more on, I think there's just some discussion at the moment over which templates we're going to add on. But for now, the basic ones are on there. Okay, and all your normal system ones on there as well. So if the doctor's then done the consultation and they want to send some information back to the practice, what they'll need to do is go up to the taskbar at the top to create a new task. And then in here, because you set up the sharing, before you just need to click on the practice's name. So this person's set to Richmond. So you'll click Richmond Medical Centre or whichever practice they're actually registered with. Automatically sets the user group as hub task. So if you haven't done this already, your hub, your station will have asked you to add a user group into your own practice system. So Optimus, for example, is hub task. This will then allow you to allocate people to that user group to then look at that information the next morning or whatever, and delegate the work out to whoever needs to go to. So you choose hub task, and then in the task type, it then gives you some options to choose from here. So you've got 2-week wait, referral, or hub information. Okay? And you then type in your task, click OK, and that will then send the task for you back to the practice. I apologise because the test station won't allow you to save the record, so I won't be able to actually save this, but that's what you would do within there. Okay? Way back. It will say, hopefully, but when it's on there, what it does is it saves the record and then it finishes off the registration within the hub. So if the doctor then wanted to go back in and change anything within there, they can go back in, but it'll come up as a deduction. So you have to just put why they're going in and if they want to add more information, like you do with a normal deducted patient. So they can add things in if they need to, but just be aware it goes down like a deduction, so we'll just need to say that they want to add more information to the record. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that side?
Does the consent box pop up when the receptionist is booking the appointment?
No, so not always. If they haven't been asked for consent yet, it should do. But if they haven't, if they have already asked consent and it's already in there, they will need to go into the record. What we did for training last week was we said it might be easier for the receptionist to bring up the patient's name first, then go into the remote booking site and book it first so they can check the consent before they even offer them an appointment.
Yeah.
Right, right. So, is there any other questions on the consultation side? Is there obviously for your clinicians that they just need to get into, they just need to make sure that sharing's done, well done. That's the main thing. Because if they don't put anything or cancel it, it won't allow them to see the record. Okay. Right, so the next part of it then is the rota sharing. So for using on your rotas, you're going to set up appointments over templates like you normally do in your normal system practice. All rotas are set up onto here and they're all under locations. So you've got Birchwood, Newark Road on here, Richmond, Woodland. If you wanted to set up a new template, what I asked everybody to do was to actually right-click to copy the template, and that's because if you try and set up a new template, it's not going to have the sharing in the background of it. So if you wanted to set up your own, you can do that, but I'm just going to show you what you need to do in the background to make sure that you've got everybody on your sharing. So if you go to new template, you then normal options to choose your type and choose your slots and everything like that. But on tab, also, you're right. You're right, I thought somebody was covering me then. So you go into remote booking on the tab up at the top, and then there's a button called Apply Remote Booking Template. And there'll be one set up for Optimus. So this one says Optimus, but if you were on IMP, it would say IMP, say with Lincoln South and Gainsborough. So they're all set up with the federation. So you click on the one you want, and then click on Select, and what that'll do is that will then add them in to the list here. Okay, so then when you go to OK your template, it will sit behind there. So when you apply them, it automatically shares to those practices within your federation. Okay, I'll do that again. So if you got the new template, you do normal rota design like you normally do. Click on the remote booking tab, go into Apply Remote Booking Template, from this federation or whichever federation that comes up, and then click Select, and then add them into the background for you. Okay, it's all right with everybody? Questions about it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's the rota sharing side. And applying them, it is just the same as you normally do. I'm sure a few of you have tried it now and got your rotas on. But it's no different to what you do in your normal practice. The process to the dates you want, and then that record to remote sharing is behind it anyway. Okay. So this bit is just about the user settings. So I just wanted to go through setting up your doctors for their user preferences. As we do with SystmOne go live, when somebody's changing over to SystmOne, what this is the easiest way that we find to do it, just so you're not setting the preferences for each one individually. It just takes quite a while. So what we do is do it in the user preferences. You have to do it within the smart card. When you're on, if you go up to user and then go into user preferences, all the things, if you click on copy from another user, it'll obviously that you're going to change a different user. If you just choose me from the list, and what that will do is it'll just move over everything that we've done to make sure that the user preferences are right. Set up for clinicians basically. So it should just mean that everything that needs setting up for that doctor or nurse's card is also be done by just clicking on the copy from another user. The only thing we haven't done yet is the prescribing, and that's just because at the moment I don't think the CCGs have been able to get the prescribing code yet. What they're going to do is I think you're going to wind up putting in your own doctor's prescribing code now, but again that's up to them. They're making that decision I think this week. When it is decided, what you'll need to do is you'll need to go into the user preferences bit and click on the prescription authorizing. And click on Always Authorised Scripts using the specified prescriber, and then their names will appear in here. You choose the name of that user and subscribe. Okay. It's just at the moment they're not set up because obviously there's no clinicians on here at the moment, so we can't actually add them on. From the settings side, if you need to remember anything in their card, so if you need to put in their prescription ID and their prescription code, you'll need to go to their user settings, set up users and policy, staff and organisation setup, choose your clinician, and then in your logins, you'll need to just put the PPA ID in there. Okay? And then you'll be able to do the user preferences. What you might have to do is when you put the PPA ID in, you'll have to close SystmOne down and bring it back up, that clinician to then appear. Once you've shut it down and then brought up that clinician's card, gone into their user preferences, you should then be able to see them on that list. Okay, is that all right with everybody? It's just the prescribing side. I'm just not 100% sure what we're doing with that. So we're just waiting for Ian and Alex to sort of update on what we're doing with that. But for now, I think that's the way we're going to do it. So it's probably the main thing you have to remember to do so that your doctors and referrals as a prescriber can prescribe. And that's it really. That's the only things I had on my list. So now, if anybody wants to ask any questions, then please do. I think a couple of you logged on a bit later on through the session, so pretty much we'll sort of go through the Q&A session, and then if there's anything you want me to go back and cover, then we can do that. It's yours now. If anybody's got any questions about our session or the hub or anything like that. I don't think Amy and Alex have actually been able to go on. Hang on, I've got a question. Hang on. Yeah, so when on the setup side of it, to go into setup, use policy, an organisation setup, find your staff member who's the prescriber, and then if you go into the local settings tab, you want to be in the PPA ID, and if you just type the number for the PPA ID in there, the brand code, and press OK, then set the code for that GP or whatever. It can shut down SystmOne using the X on the top right. It just sometimes just needs to reset itself so it can find that clinician. And then if you log in to the clinician's card, you'll need to do it within their smart card. User preferences, being prescribed in, and it's prescription authorising. And then in there, if you just click on always authorise scripts using the specified prescriber, and you need to choose them out of that list. So the clinician's name is, just double click and it'll move over to the right hand side. At the moment, like I said, we've got no clinicians on, which is why we can't actually have anybody on at the moment. Okay. If you get stuck with it, obviously when we get to the point where we are doing people prescribe codes on and stuff, then just give me a shout, but it should be fine. Oh, thank you. And just mention as well, for you to be able to set up your appointment letters, you'll need to do with your clinicians when they do come on, is if you click an amend staff, you need to make sure on the local access right that the tick boxes see patients in, and then you can apply the rotors to them. I think Optimus, I think the way that Diane was doing it for Richmond is she's just using like Optimus HCA, Optimus GP, so she's just using local ones. But if you want to actually put it to a specific clinician, you just need to make sure you've got the see patient option on there before you can then apply the rotor to them. Is there anything else that anybody can think of?
Your phone number.
Oh yeah. If I write it down, it's 07917.
It's Sam actually.
I've got it. Yeah, that's right. I think most people have it now.
Yeah.
No escaping. But yeah, if you get stuck with anything, obviously most people are starting next week. So yeah. So when you it's just because when you set up the user preferences, there's things like there's certain things that need setting in the user preferences. What I say is rather than setting each individual person up, when you see user preferences, if you press copy from another user, they're already set up, so it's just easier. And it just puts it all in. So you don't have to do each individual one. The only thing you do obviously is just do the prescribing side of it at the moment.
Do some
Prescribing posting.
they've got that on each card, haven't they? Like the
When they're logging.
yeah, when they
All right, Helen. Yeah, so they're all set up for clinicians. The admin side of it, there isn't much more that you need to set up. The only things that you probably need to set up in the user preference for admin is the revenant side of it, because they're not going to go into any records or anything. So if you want to amend anything in the general settings, you can do. Like mine's set up for clinicians, so it double click, it goes on to start a consultation, rather than having to right click in consultation. So it's just a little bit like that.
Yeah, okay.
All right. See you, Helen. Type, sorry. But yeah, my settings are set up for the clinicians, so you just need to pick on me, and then it will just automatically revert to those settings. It's just literally the prescribing that we haven't done, so you'll have to do that separately when we get going with that. But I'm sure we'll get clarification from Amy and Alex before the end of the week about what we're doing with prescribing. No, I can't hear either, Helen. I don't know what's going on. Never mind. We're still doing a webinar. It's, I think it's a bit of trial and error, this a bit. Okay, if nobody else has got any more questions, then that's really the end of the session. It is just most of it was usually done anyway, the remote booking side of it. What I said I would do as well is I'll do a separate webinar for the remote booking, but what I'll probably do is just I'll just record it and then just send it out to everybody, the recording of it. So if anybody's been on holiday for the last couple of weeks or anything, they can still have a look at how it works. Other than that, if you're all happy, then that's all I've got written down.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. Bye.